we would have been asking, where is she? Like, flip it.
They could have said that in a line of dialogue, though.
Even then.
You are govering really hard right now. This is such a tiny thing.
I came in thinking this is a good thing.
No, because like it's such a minor role that all you need is
exactly
no. It's such a minor role that all you need is a body to fill it.
Thank you so much for joining the Untitled Film Project Podcast. Bad Boys 4. Bad Boys Ride or Die is what we're talking today. Mike and Marcus, they're back. Everyone's favorite bad boys. Only this time, life-altering events have happened to both of them, and they're on the run.
Mike, there's a storm coming. Things are going to get bad.
Whoever gave the order to kill me is in the department. They're coming after you next.
It's just us, no backup.
Plus, every episode we have a big question. Go over, tell everybody what we're going to be answering.
The big question is always at the end of the episode because, again, our tagline is go watch, then come listen. So even if you haven't watched, you can still find value in the podcast in this episode because the big question is always a spoiler-free issue, and that is, for this one, name a underrated Will Smith movie. The man's got a catalog. Whether you
Earth.
Whether you like well, Gemini Man. Whether you like him or not, the guy's got a catalog, and so there's got to be a movie in there. Maybe not your favorite Will Smith movie, but it's got to be a movie that you think is underrated. That is the question today. At the end of the episode, stay tuned for what is a underrated Will Smith movie.
Not After Earth.
Bad Boys Ride or Die, a franchise that began in the 90s, is still going. And let's get some initial impressions of Ride or Die from Justin Bradford.
Mike Lowry. No. The biggest thing for me is Reggie, y'all. Woo! Reggie. Man, just from...
There were some cheers.
There is so many cheers. I was smiling so big for Reggie to get his comeuppance in such a positive way. And then seeing afterwards and seeing the interviews with the actor who basically has only done Bad Boys. Like he's not a career actor or anything. Right. His role is in Bad Boys.
His IMDb is short.
It's Bad Boys. And
it's very focused.
To hear how he went through 3 months of military style combat training for this role, how much he loves this role, and even he gets the last bit in this too. Reggie was amazing. Now, my overall thoughts on this was I enjoyed this way more than Bad Boys 3 because I don't remember much from Bad Boys 3 because Bad Boys 4, Ride or Die, reminded me of what happened in Bad Boys 3, thankfully. Like, I think you could go in to Ride or Die having only seen 1 and 2, and you're good because the flashbacks and everything's explained in this one in a good way. And I think that's smart of them to do this.
Yeah, because it brings people on board.
Yes.
I mean, you can't count on somebody for 30 years just something pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
you can't even count on that.
No. So I think they did a good job of explaining without over-explaining it. I thought it was a fun time. People in the audience was small, but I think they enjoyed it. The comedy was there. They're having fun with their old age and being aware they're not trying to make themselves seem younger on screen. That's important because how many franchises that are action or comedy or anything try to still make themselves feel younger and they're not. Like they don't look it, they don't act it, they're not there yet.
Don't de-age them with CGI.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of accepting that they're old and trying to figure that out and making plays on that as well too. The music was fun, the soundtrack was fun, the comedy was fun. I just love how these two interact with each other on the screen. It's just a fun time. And the box office is already showing that people were excited about this. I know there's plenty of off-screen things that have happened with Will Smith that have people questioning things, but like it or not, he and Martin Lawrence have a great chemistry on screen and it is entertaining, and that's what this is. This is a true summer blockbuster type of movie that is just meant to entertain you, for you to have fun and enjoy your time in the movie theater, and I feel like overall it definitely accomplished that.
All right. Gover, what did you come out of Bad Boys Ride or Die feeling like?
I love that they re-embraced Mark Mancina's original theme. Freaking love that. They did it in different ways. They updated it to a more 2000s sound, 2020s sound even sometimes. It was so cool. And it seems so easy. It's like, well, of course, that was the Bad Boys theme, so why would you not, but they didn't have to do that. And there's been other films in the saga, by the way, that they've not done that as much. They did like once, or they throw in gratuitous. But this time it was all throughout. It was so awesome. My initial take, though, is one thing, guys. Well, I guess it's two things. It's a Mark Mancina thing. Oops.
My initial takes.
I came home from the theater, and my wife goes, "So, what'd you think? Is it the best of the 4?" And my answer was, actually, it's the worst story of the 4, the best directed of the 4. There were so many cool things, like when he's looking at his watch because they're running late, and the POV is the watch face, but it's not just the watch face and then Martin Lawrence's face or Will Smith's. It has the hands on it that you look through, and and when they steal, it's in the trailer, but when they steal the white racist clothes and he goes, "Sing me a Reba song," and they sing "Bad Boys," but he's like, "No, don't do that." Then they actually get Reba to cover the Inner Circle Bad Boys song.
So there was levels.
That was
so cool.
That was good, yeah.
Because they didn't have to do those things. None of this that I'm mentioning is gratuitous. None of it's like forced nostalgia. None of it's all those things. But they didn't have to do them. They didn't have to have Reba cover Inner Circle.
It makes the audience just go,
"Oh, it's so great." And if you don't know, who cares?
But it's another added element.
So it's the worst story of the 4, I think, but the best directed.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, my initial take was that I thought the chemistry was still there. Everything you loved about the interaction between these guys was there. So like you're hungry, we're all hungry for that, right? It's what made it special. I thought, the fact that they, took these characters and gave them something different that comes with life experience, okay? So, you got one getting married, you got one with a NDE, near-death experience. So,
it's also, Jim, real quick, it's the perpetual bachelor that's getting married, by the way.
Yeah.
Ladies' man that's getting married.
So it's a big flip.
Yeah.
Right? And Mr. Goofy is also, all of a sudden, he's kind of serious, he's a fun kind of serious, but he's dealing with heavy stuff. So that for me, I thought, I really loved the way they played with those characters, twisted them a little bit like taffy, but none of the chemistry was gone. It was still there. They would still be able to drop into an argument in the middle of some frantic event and over something super dumb. And that's what I love about the franchise. So,
are those Skittles, Marcus?
Yeah. I mean, his just the jokes about his health were just really funny. And so, I didn't need a great plot. It was the plot's not very good, but they're giving me what I want.
I mean, Bad Boys 1 didn't have the best plot either, but it's still really entertaining.
Yeah. So, I was really entertained, and I liked what they did with characters we've known for a long time, and they did something fun and interesting with them, which is really hard to do while still maintaining what you love about them. So, initial take. Well done.
Guys, do we care about Teresa Randall being recast as Marcus's wife? I don't know if we care about that or not. I have a specific take, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion first.
Didn't affect my viewing of the movie, really. No. What did it do for you, though?
It was minor role. I knew it was different.
No, sure.
I knew she was different, but it didn't affect my viewing at all.
Okay, here's the deal. She's a minor enough character, you didn't need to recast her. There's no point in the movie that she absolutely has to be there. I mean, Marcus's wife. Yes, he comes home and he's got a heart attack or whatever they say. Oh, I'm worried about your health and throwing out food. Sure, that could have been a kid. It could have been his daughter. It could have been. You don't have to have.
But people would have been asking, "Where's the wife?"
It happens all the time, dude. They recast or they just people didn't sign back on. She didn't get enough money, so it's not there.
Wait. Now I feel like you did this just to trigger.
No.
Because but then if we didn't see his wife / the mom to the child / the grandmother to the baby, we would have been asking, where is she? Flip it.
They could have said that in a line of dialogue, though.
Even then,
you are govering really hard right now. This is such a tiny thing.
I came in thinking this is a good thing.
No, because it's such a minor role. That all you need is exactly no. It's such a minor role that all you need is a body to fill it.
Yeah.
You just need somebody to fill that role.
Then the counter is true, which is why
he had a widowmaker heart attack, and you're saying his wife is not going to be present.
I'm saying
And then a child is getting thrown away the snacks in the Ring camera.
if the actor didn't resign, then that's on her.
you just
you
recast.
pivot.
Then it's easy to recast because it is a minor role.
Because it's so minor.
Look,
Yeah.
I love the series so much that it distracts me that she's not there. So maybe that's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
But to me, it's like Teresa Randall should be there.
You got a
She's
super
not there
fanboy
for whatever reason.
thing
So you
going.
take that character out and make it another character that means a lot to him,
This
like
is
his
not
daughter.
a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air recasting.
Recasting the
Fresher
mom.
Recasting the
Prince.
mom, yeah.
Vivian.
Yeah, there's not recasting that
Okay.
element because she's a main character then because in a sitcom they're all kind of the main character, right?
Yes.
There's a minor supporting role that her screen time
furthers my point.
No, it doesn't because her screen time is so small that you just need to fill that little void.
Okay, fine.
You see,
It never
you never give up this easily.
never occurred to me.
Well, because it's an open discussion. I really didn't want to have. I really genuinely want to know if I'm off base
Because
there or not.
if she was not in there, it would have looked weird. Even if they addressed it with one line, it'd be just like in Kung Fu Panda, where all of a sudden the Furious Five's not there anymore. You're like, let's address it with one line. They're doing other missions.
You could say.
And it was weird. And it was very weird. Oh, she's off in Cuba somewhere on vacation. He had a heart attack, but
did that
she's
with
on vacation with the girls.
They did that with the Power Rangers. They got rid of one and they said, oh, they're on assignment. They're in another part of the world,
I
whatever.
can name a couple movies that's happened.
Yeah, and it's weird. Whenever
Natalie
they do
Portman in the Thor series was
That's-
just not there.
that still makes at least a little more sense to
Of
explain
course it
because
does.
they're protecting
They're
her.
not. I understand that. I'm simply saying that if it's a minor role like that, you just.
But this is the minor type of role it's easy to fill
Okay.
in a different
All right.
manner.
Okay, that's fine.
I get what you're saying.
I'll let it go.
I want to say your feelings are valid.
Thank you. I'll let it go.
because you are such a fan of this. But what I'm saying is your feelings are deluded.
Would you like to hug the popcorn stuffed animal?
He needs
Just
that.
get you through
I
it?
feel better now.
Woosah. Woosah.
We spent so
Woosah.
much time on such a minor character.
Okay, all right, move on.
Okay. This is my little nitpick. That happens in any crime TV show, any movie like
Wait, are you about
this.
to go from my nitpick to your own
Yes.
nitpick?
But I want to see, again, this is a
Okay.
discussion
All
topic.
right,
Let's measure up nitpicks.
All right,
No,
let's
no,
go.
no.
I think we all going.
This is minor. Okay. The FBI agent.
I thought.
They're obviously leading us to believe, trying to lead us to believe that he's the dirty one or there's something that
Yes.
he has, and then obviously just drops off the face of the planet.
Right.
I hate when they do things like that because they didn't even finish it up or have him apologize or anything like that. They just kind of
It was
set
just
it up
a
and then
little
dropped.
red herring.
It was a total red herring. I get why they do it, but I'm sitting there rolling my eyes. I'm like, you're overacting that. Like, you're overdoing the trying to set up. Because we all know it's not him. He is not a main character at all. So you're not going to make a main character the mole or the bad guy. You're going to make it something that's closer and into it. So obviously, Lockwood is right there because
Yes.
they started off with there's a
Right.
relationship. It's with Mike Lowry's ex, who's in the force, who's boss now. Like, we know that's about to happen and come down. We just don't know when.
Pretty
Yeah.
well broadcast.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
So that's why the FBI special agent in charge threw me to where it's like you just added him in for no reason. That was that's a nitpick for sure because crime shows love to throw red herrings. Like CSI,
Sure. Yeah,
do it
they-
all the time.
Yeah,
right?
they got to
You
give
just
you a
know.
couple of people to choose from to think who did it, and obviously only one did.
Except
and-
the audience right now, especially something like this, we're smart enough to know it's
think
not
we're-
him.
Yes.
So that's why I'm like, they didn't really need him to play that role. They still have somebody come in that's FBI because of the gravity of the situation, but they don't need to red herring him to make you think he's the dirty one because there was no way where he was going to be.
I think The Dark Knight did this perfectly. Okay? Where you have Commissioner Gordon's partner, right? Who she's there. She's a new character. She's there, but there was other things going on. And then you find out later that, oh, my mom was in the hospital. I had to do something. So she's a good person, but she got caught up in this desperate situation.
Yep.
They could have done something like that where they took a character from the previous films that's a good person, but they got caught up in the wrong thing.
Like
They had
Kelly
to-
or Dorn,
Yes.
even.
That's
you
what I
give
mean.
them a good reason that makes sense within their character.
That's right.
An empathetic villain.
That's right. And
Yeah.
then that's kind of how you say.
Right, but that'd be too much story for this.
No, I'm
Yeah,
right.
That's,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, whoa.
They've had 4 car chases, like a couple of comedy routines and stuff. Oh, yeah, just in that little space. Let's talk about the elephant in the movie, which is Will Smith off screen. You know, while he has done, I think, one project since the slap at the Oscars, I think everybody has an attitude of what they felt about that whole incident, where he is in his life and how he reacted. Did it affect watching this movie? And I have a couple of like personal things where I have spent time with Will Smith, and I'll tell you about those, but I want to hear your guys' take on that. Were you affected watching this movie?
I can go first.
Go over.
No.
Didn't at all.
No.
Enough time had passed?
Here's why.
Or did you not ever care?
I never cared because I naturally assumed, I'm a pessimist enough, that I naturally assumed it was staged. Like,
so Chris Rock knew it was coming?
I think, yeah, because all these award shows, okay, MTV's famous forum, all these award shows, anything to get people. We've done a whole episode, you guys, on no one's watching award shows anymore, Oscars, whatever.
Right.
So what do? Well, hey, guess
Drama.
what? Let's put this thing at the beginning of the episode, and I'm going to rip on you and your wife, and then you'll come up and you'll take care of something, and then we'll keep going. He didn't get arrested. He didn't get kicked out of the room. He still won an award. Chris Rock still continued. Everything. Now, again, I'm not saying that it wasn't real. I'm saying that at the time, I thought this is too scripted. They knew it was coming.
So then you wrote it off.
So I've compartmentalized it it is what it is. Who cares? And because, again, I'm a big fan of Will Smith's catalog of work. You put those two things in a blender. I didn't care at all.
So you moved on very easily.
Yes, very easily.
What about you, Bradford? Did you get any kind of like, I got to get past a feeling with this movie?
I didn't have any of those. If anything, I was just curious about comments on stuff. I always read the comments.
That's where you get your drama.
So, yeah, I'm curious to see what other people are saying. Some people are like, nope, I'm not seeing any other Will Smith movie ever again. Other people are like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
It's a long time ago. Why are we still talking about this?
I kind of think those people didn't like his movies anyway.
Right. So just find another reason for it. So it did not affect me at all. It's curious because obviously we know his and Jada's relationship has been in the public eye for a long period of time. There's been lots of different things. It's been a roller coaster in the public eye.
Right. And they've put it there. Like, like she does her own show. It's not like we're going to all these sites to get the gossip, right?
Right. Like, it's out there.
It's out there. She put it out there, and he's participated.
And I will say I did see his TikTok, too, which is great because it shows, too, that there's that other compartment of him still obviously truly loves being around fans and things like that because he went to a movie theater in disguise, like put on a mask and everything too. And it wasn't a premiere or anything. It was just a regular showing of the film. And he sat there and he was, recording a little bit of the audience reaction and stuff. And at the very end, he's walking out there, but he pulls off his face mask and he's like, "Hey, everyone, glad you liked it." And people just, "Oh my God, it's Will Smith."
They lost it.
And he did it on his own. Like, he didn't have a crew go with him. It was like one other person with a phone and that's it. So it wouldn't draw attention. So it's still cool to see stuff like that he still feels comfortable to go out in public to be amongst fans. I mean, it's obviously promoting the movie, of course, but it's still to go out and do that and to be part of marketing initiatives too, because, I mean, it's Will Smith, and I'm one of those people too, like, especially he owned July 4th for so long, summer and everything. So I've been
he's
Smith,
Mr. Independence Day.
I've been a Will Smith fan and enjoyed over his overall catalog of work and everything too. So it didn't really affect me. It's been a bit, and nothing else has come of it.
Well, that's good. I do think that people that were affected a lot by the Oscar slap, whether it was staged or not, were people that were, for the most part, not Team Will Smith to begin with, right? I had two encounters with Will Smith where I spent a good amount of time with him. One of them was a post-Grammy, ran into him just coincidence at a bar, and the dude just talked to me, right? I'm in the media. I said, "Do you mind if I record this?" And he was so cool about it. But this is just sitting at a bar talking to Will Smith, and he was everything you thought Will Smith was. Fast forward a few years, I find myself, I'm in a recording studio, and I've spent part of an afternoon with he and a few others in a recording studio. He had just finished a new album, and he was actually saying like, "Yeah, I'm kind of like really getting into the movies thing. I'm going to be in this movie called Enemy of the State. I'm going to be like jumping from building to building."
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, and the teaser, that might be underrated movie. But like, again, he was who he was. What the public, most of the public thought was, this is a guy just full of happiness, enthusiasm, loves his work, really everything. So for me, I think the slap kind of was was building for me, because I saw the weird stuff with his wife. I think his wife in California has a lot to do with like the calling things entanglements, and just that goofy Gwyneth Paltrow kind of weird level of thinking, because they're in this odd Hollywood echo chamber. Like, I'm thinking like, man, he's just in a weird place. That's not him. And then when I saw the slap, I'm like, that is really not him. And I thought it was staged, but for her benefit. Okay. So like, I mean, I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but it was like, I don't think it, to me, I wasn't as conspiracy theory on that, but it was like, she gave him a look like, you better do something to defend me. And he just did something stupid. So that was kind of my take on the thing there. And I'm thinking, man, that's just like, he's caught up in a weird place. That's not him. The great thing about this movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die, is it took maybe a minute for me to forget everything about Will Smith's off-screen stuff, because the movie did such a good job. All right, let's score the movie. Bad Boys Ride or Die. Put the number to it. Let's start with Jeremy Gover.
6.5. I was not thrilled.
Really?
I was not thrilled with the story.
Lower than I thought?
I was not thrilled with the level of comedy. I expected more. And again, I am well aware that I am the first one to come on this show week after week and say, it's not about what you expect. Check your expectations at the door. I totally get that. But when there's 3 of these things, and all of them have a certain level of comedy, and this one begins with it. Again, the opening scene, are those Skittles on the table, Marcus? And then the guy's trying to rob the thing. Yes, they are. Is that your hot dog? Yes, it is. He's like, oh, that's freaking hilarious. But after that, there wasn't a whole lot of interactions that were funny. There were things that like...
You watched the same movie?
I don't know. I was pretty consistently laughing. There was lulls when the things got a little serious here and there, but...
To me, again, to me, it was just I expected more. They have a track record of more. Even in the bad number 3, there's still fun arguments. Didn't care for that. And again, but I also think it was offset by the fact that it was directed great. And so, and it gave you all those check marks. We did on the Untitled Film Project Podcast website, and then of course on our social media, we did a Bad Boys bingo card.
Yeah, nice job putting that together.
Thank you. Because the first 3 movies had kind of put these things, okay, it's going to be this, you're going to see this, you're going to see the Miami sign, and there's going to be a luxury car that's going to drift, and there's going to be this crane shot, this jib shot of coming up for the 2 guys' waists, and then Marcus will show up, and then like it's all these stereotypical Bad Boys things. So we put together a Bad Boys bingo card. Hopefully you played. If you didn't, go check it out on our socials. And a lot of those things came true. It did check a lot of those boxes that were not forced. They didn't feel forced. But at the end of the day, I just didn't have that as good a time as I thought I was going to.
Okay.
6.5.
Question. Are you able to rank the Bad Boys movies?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
All right.
From best to worst?
Best to worst, yeah.
Number 1, obviously.
Okay.
Number 2. Number 4. Number 3.
Okay. So flip. Okay.
All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. How much of your score has to do with the fact that they recast his wife?
0. Just so you know.
Okay.
Oh,
I knew that was going to come up.
You didn't actually subtract points?
Okay.
I told you.
Well, slap me down and call me Reggie.
It was holy crap. I got to say this. So, one of the highlights of the entire movie was when Reggie kicks some serious tail, okay? And he turns to the monitor and salutes.
Yep.
I mean, it threw me back in the chair. And I think I audibly was like, that was so awesome.
The audience in my theater was like, woo!
Yeah, that was great. Anyway,
there was some
that
cheers.
gets 1 point by itself.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Who knows what this score could have been without that?
A 5.5, Jim, actually.
I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It gave me the fun of the first Bad Boys, only evolved, and for a movie that's like, this is not fine cinema. We know what we're coming for, yet they were still able to give me what I wanted, give me something new, give it a twist, and I thought they maintained the level of comedy. I was laughing pretty consistently throughout, and just those, there's something about the timing of when they argue, it's gold, right? It's just so funny. And if you can feel the argument coming on, it's not as funny. There was beautiful editing or directing, I'm not sure what it was, or a script writing, that where all of a sudden, bam, they're in an argument when I didn't expect it, and it's really funny. So it really exceeded my expectations. I was really glad. I don't think it's great. Not great cinema. It's good summer movie. 7.5. Justin Bradford.
So for me, I enjoyed the supporting cast. I thought they handled the Armando thing pretty well because, if anything, from Bad Boys 3, that was the awkward thing of, okay, they're putting this out there. They're going to have to deal with this if they make another one.
Yeah.
And are they going to continue on with this?
That's like, that's like daytime drama writing.
Yeah. All that. But I feel like they dealt with it overall pretty well, and that he played a supporting role well as well.
Right. He had a redemption.
The thing that got me was Eric Dane as the bad guy, McGrath, was giving me Neil McDonough in Walking Tall.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah.
Like white-haired, angry face.
Yes.
And Neil McDonough plays villains in so many things, right? All the time he plays a villain because he just has villain face. Mm-hmm. Eric Dane was channeling Neil McDonough to me because I could not get it out of my mind the entire time watching him going,
there's a big overlap there. Yes.
And I don't want to call him Neil McDonough dupe because like Eric Dane has plenty of stuff in his repertoire, right?
Right.
So it's not like that. It's just it gave me the same feeling
Those vibes
of that
are there.
type of villain. So that was curious to me. I do like how they kept some of the story just from the beginning with Rita having that experience with Mike Lowry and everything too. They kept some of these storylines. Fun with Kelly and Dorn, how all of a sudden they're banging.
Good for them.
Good for them. But in terms of a supporting role, I really like Dorn's character. You need the guy in the chair, right? Who's the guy in the chair? Dorn is that guy in the chair. Adds a little bit of nerdiness to it. And that's how they modernize it, because that's what they did in Bad Boys 3, right? They modernize it, saying, hey, guys, we're taking you off this. We have this whole new crew of young people coming in, and you're not going to get along. And you figure out a way to get along. Well, they were able to take those two from it and keep them into this one, and you still have that connection to it. I'll honestly say this, having seen Bad Boys, for Life? Is that the third one? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot the Cap died.
Oh, really? That's a pivotal part of the movie.
It is, but that's how much I don't remember from Bad Boys 3.
Yeah.
It's very forgettable, and all of a sudden, like, oh, that's right, he has a son. So much I forgot, but they recapped it again so well in this one that you could skip 3 and you're totally fine within this franchise. You really
do not
could.
need it.
And that's good movie making overall. It's good directing.
It's smart.
For you to be able to come in and people are like, well, I haven't seen it. It's been years. And you can come in and still get it and not feel lost. That's great. So I say all that I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. This is what summer blockbusters need to be, or things like this that are fun to entertain you, make you laugh, make you feel action, be in a big movie theater. This is a movie theater movie. We talk about what's going to get people back in the theaters. This is the type of movie that is fun to see in a theater.
As a group.
Yes. And to experience it with other people, because that's what this movie is made for. That's what these movies are made for. 7.5.
All right. Laughter is infectious. I agree with that. Last thing I'll say, though, is that Tiffany Haddish's character, which I thought was a great kind of just insert into the picture. It's kind of cool. Just show up for a day and knock out this scene. And it's hilarious, right? The problem that sucks about it, and this is totally selfish, I get it, okay, is my son is 12.
Okay.
Without that scene, he can go see this.
Right.
But he can't, it's not appropriate for him to, so it's like, it's for that one gag, for that one thing, the whole movie gets thrown out to a certain generation that, is...
In time, they'll have time to see it.
For sure. I'm just saying, like, it sucks when it's one thing. So it's different if there's F-bombs all throughout, and there's this and that.
You're saying language aside and violence aside, a young teen to be able to handle it better without that strip club moment.
I'm saying as a parent...
Right. Yeah. You have
That's the only thing in this movie that you could be like, if you remove that and he got arrested some other way...
Right.
It's
language and violence.
Totally fine.
Language and violence are a little bit easier in movies, right?
Yes.
Right.
Also, glad they brought back DJ Khaled. That's fun.
That was cool. He
What
showed up for a
callback.
day, too.
Yeah, what a callback for that.
If a day.
And another one.
It's time for the big question. Again, go watch, come listen. And this is the part of the show where if you have not watched, you can still listen.
Yeah.
We are asking the big question today. Name an underrated Will Smith movie. It does not have to be your favorite. It does not have to be one that's really any good, to be honest. It's just name a underrated, something that you think is better than the critical success, or that maybe people don't talk about it at all.
Right.
And you're like, no, but I remember that was pretty good. Either way, give us an underrated Will Smith movie. Jim, let's start with you because you kind of teased yours earlier on accident.
I gave mine away, and I was debating, but I'm going to go with Enemy of the State.
It's a great choice. Yes.
It's a great thriller. It's a lot of fun. I think there was, if you look at Enemy of the State and like how intrusive and how they were able to deep fake and destroy his identity and make him look bad. I mean, just like
in the 90s, no less.
That was in the 90s, and how like absolutely relevant is that today? I mean, yes, the tech looks different.
Yes,
but
it does.
But the ideas were really good, and it was just like there is a kind of like a manic, frenzied, on the run, fun, classic thriller that I just think Enemy of the State, go check it out. It's probably forgotten. You probably haven't seen it if you just, if you're under a certain age. So yeah, enjoy it.
So there are a few. I mean,
there are a few.
I'm curious what Gover's going to go with here because I don't want to steal his.
You won't.
Unless he goes with iRobot.
No. I have a long history on this show of plugging iRobot. This is not what I'm not going to do.
Are you sure?
You're not going to take the bait?
No.
Aladdin?
No.
Gemini Man, totally. No. So
that would let me down, actually. I was so pumped to see that.
I forgot about
it. It's so intriguing.
Aladdin.
It's cool.
I think it's a defense mechanism. My mind wiped Aladdin off of my brain.
Hey.
And thanks for bringing it back.
That's
Guy Ritchie.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Guy Ritchie.
The two that I'm down to are both dramatic roles or more dramatic roles.
Okay.
Because when I think underrated too, you think of him having the mix of action and comedy as well. But Will Smith is a good actor.
Yes, he is.
Like, he has proven that he can act, he can play dramatic roles, he can show emotion on screen, he can act with himself. So I'm just going to throw out the two that I'm between because it's really difficult.
Okay.
And then I'll say which one I'm going with.
All right.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which somehow was not critically highly rated. It was fresh, but it's like 67%. Audiences loved it.
Yeah.
And then I Am Legend is the other one, which that's right at 68% for
and
both.
That is acting by himself.
That is acting by himself.
Sure.
Carrying a movie.
Carrying a movie.
Not in a comedic way.
No.
Right, not in a comedic way. So I think more people talk about Pursuit of Happiness. So I'm not going to go with that as underrated. I'm going with I Am Legend.
It's a great choice.
Because, again, he's acting by himself. He's acting with the dog.
Yep.
Killing zombies, things like that.
That tore me up, by the way, when that dog went in that cave and he was searching for that dog.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh man, it was rough.
The emotions that he has to show on screen as well too, because he's dealing with obviously PTSD, so many other things by himself. He doesn't have somebody to bounce off of for the majority of the film until near the end. Right. So I think that I will go with that as underrated because of the acting job he had to pull on that.
Yes.
Whether you like the movie or not, it's his acting throughout the film with what he pulled off. So
good choice.
Yeah, really good choice for that one.
What is the movie that we didn't mention that you think is underrated that Will Smith made? Tell us about it in the comments. Hit us up on social media. We want to know.
I will tell you on social media that my answer is Ali.
Oh, okay.
Because how easy is it to screw up depicting Muhammad Ali? I mean, it is easy to go and drop that ball, and he crushed it.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's underrated in the sense that when you hear about the best sports movies of all time, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say Ali. And I would put that in probably my top 15 sports movies of all time, at least.
I think what we're all trying to say is you can discount what he does, but if you're ignoring some really good movies because they're not what his usual movies are. So, yeah.
That's right. So what did you think? What do you think an underrated Will Smith movie is? Let us know down in the comments here on YouTube or on all the socials.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.